this is because we're not going to forget.
Start with the opening prayer. We have a few guest speakers, and then I'll open it up to anyone else that wishes to speak. And at the end, I will do the military aspect of it.
That's kind of a hard act to follow, isn't it? Where's your flamingo? My name's Vern Smith, and I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Waldron just last fall at this very building for the first time. I'd known of him, and a great man, as you've heard the family verify that he was that type of man. And he left a legacy that I have been privileged to find in his family, especially in Patty and John, who are just great friends already for just a short time. Due, in fact, to this lovely lady, Nancy Dewey, who invited them to a meeting, and lo and behold, that lovely Patty didn't sit right across the table from me, and it didn't take but a few minutes to find out she was a live wire, as well as was John. And she started telling what we had never met them before. She started telling what she did, told about her father, and how she loved him and what he had done for our country. And then she said, I'm retired from the fire department, Cal Fire up there in the hills, and what she did there. And she said, now I'm into genealogy. And I said, who? And you're sitting right across from me, and I have a solution or a problem that needs a solution to it. I had been trying for almost 70 years to find a survivor of a machine gunner who died about 10 feet from where I was on a cold February 19th day in 1945 in the woods of Germany. I had finally found a name through a friend of mine in Missouri. And I said, Patty, do you suppose you could help me find this person? She said, give me your email address. I'll have him by tomorrow. The next day I'm on the phone with a 70-year-old guy from West Virginia by the name of Denward Farrell Eastep. He said, just call me Denny. And I said, well, my name's Vern Schmidt. I live in Fresno, California. And I don't want to open up a wound, but I was there when your father was killed, giving his life for our country. And I said, it's taken me this long to find someone in this family. But I said, a beautiful lady just found this number, and I called it. And he says, yeah, that was my dad. He said, I don't know much. I was only 3 years old. I just remember him faintly when he left. We took a picture together just before he went overseas. And in just a few days, he gave his life for you and I, for this beautiful flag that we see. He said, can you tell me a little bit about my dad and what the surroundings? And I said, you know, I don't want to open up a wound, but I said, he gave his life for us. He gave his life for me. And I said, your dad goes down in history for a great guy. And I did. I did go into details of how he was killed, which is, I don't want to share that here. But this man said to me just before I hung up, he said, why did you call me? This is 70 years ago. Nobody is interested in that. I said, I am. I said, I feel I've got closing tonight just from talking with you. He called me back about 3 days. He said, Mr. Smith, I can't believe you tracked me down. And I said, well, if you could see the beautiful lady that found you for me, you'd be excited as I am. So I'm forever grateful for Patty and John and the friendship we've had over these last couple of months. This is one beautiful family. God bless you.
Anyone else would like to speak?
So I really do want to reach out and say thank you so much, everybody from the nursing home, everybody that's here. It's so appreciative that you could all be here. most of you never knew my grandpa for any length of time like any of the family did, and you all may be interested. If any of you do have questions or want to know about my grandpa, we all have many, many stories. My mom's done a great job at writing a lot of stuff down. She's been able to go through and document a lot of the things that Grandpa's had trouble talking about, his experience in Pearl Harbor. We have a very, very nice 4 to 5, 6 page description of what happened that day and those few days around Pearl Harbor. So feel free, reach out to me, reach out to my mom, reach out to my dad. If some of you maybe knew Grandpa Matt, we grew up together, and we all spent a lot of time with Grammy and Grumpsy, and you haven't really been able to see him in a long time. And if you just have questions or want to see pictures, I tried to put a slideshow together. I got a little frustrated I've got so many pictures and getting it all to go the way I want, but I've got many, many pictures of Grandpa through his entire life. We've got some songs that I'm going to share with Grandpa, things that it may not mean a lot to us right now, but they were important to Grandpa, so that's what I've done. I've put those together. What we've also done, thank you very much, just be here for us and we could be there for you and we could help each other out. Everybody from the nursing home, you guys, you're a family to us, and we're going to miss seeing you. I still want to come through and see there's so many kind faces there. I can't thank you guys enough for how well you treated Grandpa. And if you ever need anything from any of us, you can call me on my cell phone direct, and it doesn't matter what it's about, just give me a call. To me, everybody in this room now is family, so everybody just reciprocate that.
And with the memories that Ian and his family has, you guys hear me, I'm pretty loud, right? With the memories that Ian and his family have, they would like to read some of your memories. So over on the guest table over here, with all Ed's pictures and stuff, are like pieces of paper and some pens. Please write down some of your fondest memories of him so the family can read them later. All right? Thank you.
That's another thing I want to thank Diamond and her mother have worked so hard, and a couple others at putting together. We've got great food here, done a great job catering. We all got this set up this morning. A lot of people have worked very hard, and I just want to extend that thank you so much for all the help. I want to thank you as well.
Oh. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Patty just told me that I'm coming up here to speak. So here I am. Ian is so much like Mr. Waldron right now. Just open and extending your heart to everyone. That was Mr. W. The last thing he said to me was, "Your hands are cold." I said, "I'll be all right." The first thing he said to me was, "Did you miss me?" And I said, "Yes, I did." And he said, "How can you miss me if you just met me?" And I told him, "Because I'm working on this movie about you, and every morning I see your face, your little towhead face, with your overalls on and that little smile in front of the cabin. And when I don't work on that movie, I miss you." And he nodded. I guess that was a sufficient answer. And so I am luckier than most people in this room, outside of actually knowing him, being related to him, because I got to live through his life over and over again, and these stories that he would never tell you in one shot. Patty, You are an excellent writer. And all of these other things that Mr. Waldron was. If any other person were to tell you that they had all of these talents, you would say, oh, yeah, sure, I'm sure you do. You're a photographer, a pilot, a sailor, a lapidarianist. And Miss Patty has that same quality. So does Mr. John and their children. And everyone else has been touched by the Waldron Klein family. Thank you so much. And thank you for your service, each and every one of you.
Thank you, Marlene. Marlene and David have done an excellent job at putting together a video of my grandpa. It kind of tells his story, and it was written by my mom for the most part with the voiceover by Marlene. So that's something that is actually, I believe, on YouTube now.
Yes.
So we can share that with you as well if anybody's interested in it. And she did that out of the own graciousness of her heart. So thank you very, very much.
I've asked Ron over here, he wrote a poem that he read specifically to my father-in-law last December 7th. He took him back in the hall by Lorenzo's office and he recited the poem for him. And I asked him if he would please do that for all of us today.
I have another event this afternoon, but I wouldn't have missed this for anything. And I too thank all of you veterans for your service. This poem I wrote about 5 years ago, and I was honored. It was kind of the thought came to me as Ed was leaving the auditorium that I hadn't signed up to read the poem to the veterans there at the event, but it's been dedicated through the Veterans Memorial District here, a first copy given to our CEO, Lorenzo Rios. My dear friend, Janice Stevens, has corrected me in other poems that I've written. This is in honor of all our veterans, but especially to Mr. Ed Waldron today and his family. I'll try to keep my composure because this is a powerful statement to all of our veterans. There comes a glow on a distant hill from hallowed ground this night. The flame of freedom casts this glow, let no man dim this light. Our patriots ran with freedom's flame, they ran for you and me. A little child will sleep tonight and know that it is free. Let's pass this torch with freedom's flame to you and me this day. This fragile flame must never die. May it always light our way. The flame that melts the shackles and burns for what is right. Our sons and daughters kept the flame of freedom burning bright. So many came before us to shape this wondrous land. The life we live is not our own, for beside them all we stand. We join our hands in friendship, our hearts are joined in love. The history of our grand old flag unites us all from above. Our Lady stands with flame so bright, she greets the new day sun. I love Our Lady Liberty, with freedom's flame I'll run. So come with me to hallowed ground, where freedom's price was laid. The flame of freedom shines tonight. Ed's flame will never fade.
What little bit I have here doesn't even compare to that at all. Now it's going to be hard for me to finish mine. I hope that touched everyone as much as it did me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
One by one, as the years roll on, we're called upon to do sad duties of respect to our departed comrade. The present, full of cares that besiege all nations, whether in war or peace. Look back on the time this comrade left his home to defend his country. Imbued by a spirit of devotion and inspired by an undying love for his native land, he gladly went forth with to join both comrades, young and old, to preserve the heritage of our nation. We trust that the example set by our comrade will prove a glorious beacon to the youth of our country who may be called upon to uphold the honor of the flag. As the years roll on, we too shall have finished our fight, shall be laid to rest, and our soul follow the long columns of realm above, as all enfolding death, hour by hour, shall mark its recruits. Let us so live that when the keeper of our eternal record shall call our name for the last time, those we leave behind may say of us now, as they say of this comrade, here lies all that is mortal of a true comrade and a fearless defender of his country and flag. We're assembled here to pay a lasting tribute of respect to our departed comrade. When the call of our country was heard, he had answered, always forgotten in a call to the greater good. He marched away as a brave man with an abiding faith in his God, his country, and his flag. The red of our country's flag is red stiller by his heroism. The white, more stainlessly pure by the motive which impelled him. And the starry field of our nation's glory banner, the blue is glorified by the service he has given for his country. The march of our comrade is over. He lies down in the house appointed for the living. We're reminded here of the frailty of human life and the tenure by which we hold our own. In such a moment as we think not, the final summons will come, which no one can disobey. Our comrade of the Navy no longer hears the waves of the sea, no longer sails in battles in a foreign land, or hopefully never here. Our comrade is in the hands of his Heavenly Father. God grant him beloved sleep. Yes, he'll be laid to rest. But let us cherish his virtues and learn to imitate him, reminded by the place he fills no more, that our ranks are in fact growing thinner. That each one is so loyal to every virtue, so true to every friendship, so faithful in their remaining march, that they will be able to take their place in the great review thereafter, not in gallantry, but with the faith that our merciful captain of our salvation will call them to the fraternity which on earth and in heaven remains unbroken. The Master say the brother shall rise again. I am the resurrection life. Dust shall be returned to dust, and the Spirit of God again. Ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. And in the Spirit, one great Spirit, to watch us over the lives and souls of men. May the benediction of heaven be upon us and our comrades wherever this Spirit is throughout the world. Ed, your mission is over. You've done it well. Being in the air, I wish you a safe trip, safe flight, and the wind always at your back. I also would like to tell you, as the ship, may the wind also be at your back, may the seas always be calm, and may you always remember everybody. Thank you.
Angel will do it.
Okay, great.
The Sailor's Creed. I, am a United States sailor, of support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, El Pedo, the Zealous pointed over me. I represent the fighting spirit of the Navy and those who've gone before me to defend freedom and democracy around the world. I proudly serve my country's Navy combat team with honor, courage, commitment, and committed to excellence in the parachuting ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, that covers my portion. If Patty, if someone has anything they would like to say, please come up.
I think we could all eat.
Yeah.
And on the flags and everything, you know, take the little flags if you want, you know, with you and everything, but please don't leave yet. There's tons of food here for everybody to enjoy. And let's celebrate.
He was very happy and positive. Always lived by the belief that tomorrow will be a better day.